What's up, guys? This is Brent with 247parts.com, the best place online to buy your John Deere parts. Now let's jump right on into it, show you how to install a home maintenance kit on this Z530R. So first thing you need to start out with is getting the right home maintenance kit. And on this model, what you're going to need is an LG 265. So let's start by getting our oil draining. First thing I'm gonna do though is raise up this seat, get it out of our way while we're putting everything here from the kit onto the machine. The next thing we're going to do is get our oil draining. So we're going to get our oil hose here, push it through, and then start to find its way out of the back of the machine here, just like so. Then once we have it out, we can undo our plug here, starting to let that old oil flow out there. And we'll also take the dipstick loose, just to allow that air to flow just a little better. Now, while our oil is still draining, next we'll move here to the air filter. So we're simply gonna raise this up, pull out on that old air filter, and we have a hand twisting clamp here that we're simply going to loosen off. And once you get that loose, you can twist that up and see where that clamp has that twist handle. So we get that loose, we can simply pull off our old air filter like that, grab our new one, put that in place, get that good and firm on the hose there. Now we want to make sure that the bottom, or that the twist of this clamp is towards the bottom of the hose. So rotate that back around, tighten it up just like so, and then close the hatch. Now next we can move to our spark plugs. Remember, you're going to have one on either side, so you're going to need to do this twice. But right here, we'll do the one over here on the left-hand side. We are going to pull this cap off, just like so. Then we're going to take our spark plug socket here. This is going to be a 13/16. We're going to get that put onto the spark plug there, all the way on. Break that loose. Move that the rest of the way by hand. And we're going to go in with our new plug. Go ahead and start it by hand all the way until it gets too tight to turn it by hand. Then we're going to go back on with our spark plug socket and ratchet here. Go ahead and tighten that up. We want to tighten it up snug, but not too tight. And then back on with our cap. Now, once you have both spark plugs done, now it's time to change the fuel filter. Now, this part gets a little bit messy. As you can see, we do have some fuel built up here in the filter. But what we have to do is loosen both of these clamps on the bottom here of the filter. We're going to loosen that one down just like that. And then on the top right here, I'm going to loosen this one off as well, just like so. Then we can start to take the hoses off of the filter. Be careful here, you might get a little bit of fuel spillage. Just like so. Then whenever we're going back on with that new filter, we have to make sure that our arrow is going in the direction of fuel flow. So that bottom hose is where the fuel is going to come in and then go to the top hose into the engine. So we want the bottom of our arrow going into that bottom hose, and then our top hose going at the point of the arrow. And once we have that in place, we can get our clamps back down into place, just like so. Now, by the time you've got all of that done, you should be good to go on your oil drain here. So we can go ahead and go back on with our cap, making sure to get that tight. Then we're going to push our drain pan underneath the machine just a little further here to make sure it is underneath where our oil filter is. The next what we want to do is start to remove that old engine oil filter. Now, a lot of the time, you should be able to do this by hand, but if for some reason you are not able to do this by hand, we just want to make sure and have some sort of filter wrench in play to be able to get a hold of that thing and get it loose. All right, now once you get the old filter off, one thing we want to do is make sure and feel around, make sure that there is no remnants of the old gasket around that opening, and then go ahead and clean that off as best as we can. And we're going to go ahead and break out that new filter. See how we have this dry gasket on top? What we want to do here is put a thin layer of our new oil onto that gasket. Get some of that new oil here, put it on that gasket there, and then go right back on with that new filter. Get that on good and hand tight. Then we can go back in here with our 2 new quarts of oil. Now, last thing to do is to go ahead and fire that thing up. Make sure we don't have any leaks anywhere and make sure everything is functioning properly. And then you are good to go. So guys, I hope this video helped you out, and I hope that you liked this video. If you happen to have a John Deere Z530R and need that kit, that LG265, I'll put a link down in the description below where you can go to get that. And if you also need any other John Deere parts for your Z530R or any other piece of equipment, make sure to check us out at 247parts.com. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Hey guys, make sure to go buy your parts right here and subscribe right here.